Hello, welcome to this new video. As you know already, my name is Ernst George. Uh, if you've been following me on my YouTube channel, you know I most likely produce video talking about entrepreneurship, money, and how to become successful and build wealth. The video today will talk about should you become an entrepreneur. Why I'm doing this video is to explain what is an entrepreneur, the present entrepreneur vs the entrepreneur from the past. Is entrepreneurship it's right for you? This video will be able to answer this question, and this video will help you to identify business opportunities and set goals that will help you to become a successful entrepreneur. So far, we will start, and step by step, I will explain you in this video why you should become an entrepreneur. The first part of this video will talk about entrepreneur part, present and past. So as an entrepreneur, the first thing you should keep in mind is to set goals. Define entrepreneurship. Your goal should be define entrepreneurship, learn about entrepreneurship and history, and identify the impact of entrepreneurs and small business today. Should be able to identify the impact of entrepreneur and small business today. So far, let's move on. What is an entrepreneur? This is the question that many people will ask themselves on a daily basis. I will propose some definitions that might suit the proper answer that you're looking for this question. What is an entrepreneur? Generally speaking, an entrepreneur is people who own, operate, and take the risk of a business venture are called entrepreneur. So people who operate and take the risk of a business venture, generally speaking, they are called entrepreneur. So according to this definition, we should say entrepreneurship is the process of running a business of one's own. By this definition, we can say that entrepreneurship is the process of running a business of one's own. So now it's important to see the difference between employees vs entrepreneurs. Why do people become an entrepreneur? This is some legitimate questions you might answer yourself at this moment. Now, I understand that. That's why I will provide you more answers. So, who is an entrepreneur? This is the important question that you should answer, that will give you the answer for the prior question, why should you become an entrepreneur? So to understand why you should become an entrepreneur, you should understand who is an entrepreneur. What is an entrepreneurship, right? So the first part of the video answered those two questions for you. Now you have a clear idea about who is an entrepreneur and what is entrepreneurship. So it's a if everything is clear for you, all right, I hope you take some notes. We can move on to identify different type of entrepreneurial businesses. So let's move on. One of the most common entrepreneurial business is manufacturing. People creating goods. Um, the most common entrepreneurship business actually in the world is wholesaling. Most of e-commerce giants like Alibaba, Amazon are wholesaling business. And the third most popular entrepreneurial business is retailing. Amazon and Alibaba are also retailing. So if you heard about job shipping online, those are people are retailing entrepreneur. And the most entrepreneurial business or small business on the market are services business. That's when you have a need and I come, I serve you, and you pay me for the service. And they have agricultural entrepreneurship business nowadays. Those type of business, agricultural entrepreneurial businesses are really involved nowadays because of organic products. So people are on this field making a lot of money. Okay, meaning and X trade. Meaning and X trade is another type of business. I will talk more about that in the future. So let's take those entrepreneurial businesses one by one and try to understand them better. Let's take an examples. Let's go through two examples. We will start by manufacturing business. Most likely, we might think manufacturing business are generally in the field of apparel, clothing, textile products, chemical products related to products, beauty products, things like that, pharmaceutical products, electronics, and other electrical equipment. So they produce some electronic and other electrical equipment, fabricate metal products, food products, industrial machinery equipment, printing and publishing, rubber and miscellaneous plastic products, stone, clay, and glass products. Um, all of these products are from manufacturing products. Now we continue with more examples of entrepreneurial businesses. Now we're going to wholesaling businesses. Apple, electrical goods, grocery and related products, hardware, plumbing, heating equipment, lumber, construction materials, machinery, equipment supplies, motor vehicle, automotive equipment, paper, paper products, petroleum, petroleum products. Those are the categories of business that most commonly operate in wholesale business. I might had real estate investment in this category. Example of retailing businesses: auto and home supply stores, building material and supply stores, clothing stores, florists, furniture stores, gift novelties and souvenir stores are the most common retailing business are the most common business in this category. So we take grocery stores. I almost forget grocery stores are really important in retailing businesses. Hardware stores, jewelry stores, retail bakery, there are bakeries, retail bakeries, shoe stores, sporting goods and bicycles stores. Now let's go to another field of entrepreneurial businesses. Now we go into service businesses, very important field in entrepreneurship. Appliance repair, automotive repair, babysitting, bookkeeping, consulting, dance instruction, electrical services, exterminators, flower decorating, house cleaning, lawn care, painting, plumbing, translating, travel agency, tutoring are the most. Bookkeeping, I said, I had accounting, are the most common and the most lucrative services businesses and entrepreneurship field. Now, so far, what we had already talked about is how many type of entrepreneurial businesses do we have. So we list three of them and give you some pretty clear example for each category. Now we can move on to talk about the history of business, the history of entrepreneurial business in the United States. So far, we might say entrepreneurs who change America. We will try to insight some entrepreneurs who change America along the years. Most likely, we will touch 19th century entrepreneurs or an early 20th century entrepreneurs. So, and finally, I will talk about entrepreneurs who have a lot of impact in society today. So remember, if you just log on, this video talking about if entrepreneurship is right for you and tell you more, tell you how to become an entrepreneur and explain you the history of entrepreneurship in America and what should you do to become a successful entrepreneur. So let's move on so far. We we were talking about the um and this video you will find very specific information that will help you set goals that are important to you. One of them is how to identify the characteristic of a successful entrepreneur, access whether you have what it takes to succeed in your own business. This video will give you access whether you have what it takes to succeed in your own business. So let's study characteristic the characteristic of a successful entrepreneur. Successful entrepreneur, what does that mean? Successful entrepreneurs are independent. They are self-confident. They have determination and perseverance. They are goal-oriented persons. They have a need to achieve and set high standard for themselves. They are creative and they are able to act quickly. Let me say it again for you guys. The characteristic of a successful entrepreneur are successful entrepreneurs are independent. They are self-confident. They have determination and perseverance. And they have discipline. They are goal-oriented persons. They have a need to achieve something big and they set high standard for themselves. They are generally creative and they are able to act quickly as possible. Small businesses dominate the United States economy, and I will tell you why. Let's stay in United States. We got a lot of business that have 20 or fewer employees, and we got some categories of business that have 20 to 500 employees, and we got more than 500 employees. So let's see in percentage of these type of employees operate on the marketplace. Let's take the first category, company who hire 20 or fewer employees. They represent 90% of all US businesses. This is the main goal of entrepreneurship. And company, what am I saying? Medium company who have between 21 to 500 employees, they represent only 9%. And the third category, more than 501 employees, big corporate business, they represent only 1% of the market. Let me Say it again. As a person, as a future entrepreneur, or if you are already an entrepreneur, you got to understand that there is three categories of business that dominate the US economy. The first category is small business, startup business, entrepreneurship business. Okay, self owned by one person or a few person. Those businesses, they have not much than 20 or less, 20 or fewer employees. These type of businesses, they represent 90% of the 90% of all US business market. That's what entrepreneurship, small business, they represent 90% of the US business market. And the second category, which I call small, medium, and few large company who have between 21 to 500 employees. They represent 9%, and big big corporate multinational, they represent, they will have 501 or more employees. They represent only 1% of the US business market. So uh for you to get access, or I might say, or you can get access to your suitability for entrepreneurship. So how can you become an entrepreneur? You should have access to your interest. Right? This is assess your suitability for entrepreneurship. This is the a kind of introspection that you should do with yourself, questioning yourself to see if you can become an entrepreneur. So assess your suitability for entrepreneurship. The first thing you must have is access to your interests, hobbies, and interests. If you wanna jump in the field of entrepreneurship, you should interrogate your hobbies and your interests, because they might be your next entrepreneurship venture. You should interrogate your past experiences. You might already find the magic ideas or the wonderful ideas that will generate you millions of dollars in the future. So you might already know how to do some stuff really good, really perfectly. So access to your past experience and analyze if you know what things you can do well, if it's not necessary for you to start your business venture from something you already know how to do. Now, the second access you should do is access to your aptitude. Aptitude is the key in entrepreneurship. And the third access that you should do is access to the advantages of entrepreneurship. So understand what kind of advantages entrepreneurship may provide you. And you should access to the disadvantages of entrepreneurship. Don't jump in entrepreneurship field, an entrepreneurship world, or any entrepreneurship venture when you think that everything is perfectly fine. Entrepreneurship can, it's a gold mine, but entrepreneurship can be very, very rough if you do not assess this balance between advantages and disadvantages of your future entrepreneurship venture. Now, you should do your job attributes checklist. You take a sheet of paper and you answer those questions. Do I enjoy working with numbers? Do I enjoy working outdoors? Do I enjoy working with my hands? Do I enjoy selling? Do I enjoy working with people? Do I prefer to work alone? And do I like supervising people? Do I like knowing exactly what is it I am supposed to do? It's important to you check my these job attributes to know what can you do inside your entrepreneurship venture and where should you looking for help. Now let's dig inside advantages of entrepreneurship, right? Entrepreneurs are their own bosses. That's one of the advantages of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs can choose a business that interests them. We said it already. When you do a business that enter that suit your interests, it's easy for you to do it than do something that you don't like. An entrepreneur can be very creative. Creativity is a key in entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur Entrepreneurs can make lots of money, right? Those all those criteria are advantages of entrepreneurship, right? Now let's see disadvantages of entrepreneurship. What kind of obstacles could you find on your way doing an entrepreneurship venture? The first one to know, entrepreneurship is risky. As a matter of fact, most of successful entrepreneurs have been failed more than 3 times before they find the right business model that will bring them millions of dollars. Entrepreneurs face uncertain and irregular income. If you become an entrepreneur, you might suffer for a long period of time before you start have a regular income. You might spend all your money and without have any idea when you will get this money back. This is how risky is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs work long hours. If you are an entrepreneur, you work long hours. That's a, that's a must. There is no way out. Entrepreneurs must make all decisions by themselves. If you are scared to take decision, you might not be it will not might be easy for you to become an entrepreneur because entrepreneurs make all decisions by themselves, and sometimes you have to make important decisions very quickly. Now this video is really 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 nice so far. We share many things together. So we share about some characteristics that make an entrepreneur successful already. We share what are the advantages of disadvantages of being an entrepreneur so far. So we're gonna move on to continue with the topic of this video. So now let's identify businesses opportunities and set goals. All right. Remember, since the beginning, I tell you it's important to set goals. Right? Now, as an entrepreneur, you should be able to identify the business opportunity that's suitable for you and how to set goals for this type of businesses, ventures that you will find on your way. It's important to recognize different business you could start, right? You make a list of business that you could start. It's important to recognize them, you know, analyze them, identify your own personal goals. Now, when you identify the type of business that you could start, now compare them with your own personal goal, because I guess if you want to become an entrepreneur, you have your personal goal already set. If it's not, you have to set your personal goals and identify them and compare them between the business that you recognize that you could start. Identify, put them together with your personal goal and make a checklist to see if they match. If there are something match between them, it's important because those data will give you a clear picture about your future entrepreneurship venture. So, how to investigate opportunities in business? The first thing you can do, and this is one thing I used to do, and I'm still doing that, it's go to a public library. I used to go on Central Public Library and Merrick Boulevard. I used to go from 8 in the morning to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday and sit on the quiet room, learn about business. You can approach small business administration. Most likely, people who own small businesses, entrepreneurs, they're most likely really happy to see new 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 persons who like to investigate about business opportunity, how to start, how to become an entrepreneur, and they will be more than happy to give you some insights and to help you and give you some key information that you should know before you jump inside a business venture as an entrepreneur. It's important to visit the trade shows, and the trade shows you might find many people like you, and you might find many investors. You will find many investors. So it's a good way to networking and take business cards from other people, and you might find your next business partners in a trade show. Now let's compare the different opportunities. Is there a market? Will people buy? Is the two first questions you should ask yourself when you want to jump an entrepreneurship. If there is a market for what you're going to put on the market, I don't know if it's a product or a service, but ask yourself if there is a market for it. And the second question is, will people buy what you're about to put on the market? Very important. Now, you should ask yourself how much money would it take to put your product or service on the market. Will I be able to borrow that much money? It's important to ask yourself how much money will it take to put your products and services on the market. And if you don't have that money, will you be able to borrow that money? Will you be able to borrow that much money? And where you can find some people that will lend you money. Right? How many hours a week are required to work in your business venture to make it, to make your dream come true? So you need to know how many hours a week you will go to work to in your entrepreneurship business venture. It's important because you might find yourself one day in a very weak position and you don't want to work anymore. You burn out. So keep in mind, since you start and the day you start your entrepreneurship venture, write down clearly how many hours a week it's required for you to put in your business and keep this commitment. Keep it this commitment with a lot of discipline. It's important. Now, when you ask yourself this question, you should ask yourself a second question related to the first one, related to how many hours a week required to work in the business. And you should ask yourself, am I willing to commit that much time? Am I willing to commit that much time in my business venture? Am I willing to do that? Because you might have a partner in life, you might have a wife, you might live with your family, you might have your parents, they might be old, they need your support. You know, you should analyze that before you jump. Now, when you ask yourself this question, you there is another question very important to ask yourself: what are the risks, right? What are the risks of this entrepreneurship business? What are the risks of this business venture that I'm going to do? What are the rates? What is the rate of business failure in this field? The field that you want to operate your business. You have to know what is the rate of failure in this field, because you don't want to repeat the other people's mistake. Learn from the mistake. Do I have the right background for the business? It's important to ask yourself, do you have the right background for the business? And if you don't have the right background, do others whom own this kind of business have more experience than myself? So do others who own this kind of business have more experience than myself? Ask yourself if you have the right background. Do other people who own the type of business that you want to do Do they have more experience than you? It's important because if you come short when you answer those questions, you might need somebody to be in the business with you that have what you need to answer those questions. So how much money could I make? It's important to put in mind how much money could you make in this business venture that you can scale. You can scale yourself. You can say, I'm in this because I know in the future I can make this amount of money on my business and my business venture. So this is how to compare how to compare different opportunity and business. It's important to know that when you wanna jump an entrepreneurship. So setting goals is super important. You should have some financial goals. You should have some non-financial goals. And when you mix all that together, you will answer the ultimate question, which is the title of this video: should you become an entrepreneur? If you follow step by step, if you follow step by step all the advice I give you in this video, you will be able to answer this question: should I become an entrepreneur? Because you will have all the answers laid down in front of you on a sheet of paper, and you will take the right decision. There is no magic in it. It's all about a process. I give you a process. I give you the key to become a successful entrepreneur. This is it. I'm gonna wrap this video. So that was my pleasure to be with you in this new video. I will see you in the next one. Remember to subscribe if you wanna be up to date, if you wanna receive all new videos that we put on this channel, and share this video with your friends. Share this video with everybody you know, because we want to reach as much people possible. We want to create, we want to help 10,000 entrepreneurs to become successful just by watching videos on this channel. This is Ernst George, and you can find me on you can find me on my personal website www.ernstgeorges.com. 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 Thanks. I will see you on the next one.